Let's give it a hot minute. Let's give it a hot minute. Alrighty. We're in again. We're gonna impact. I'm gonna impact. I'm impacting. Alright. Enough fooling around. We have a mystery to solve here. It is through Poisson. We were given 3 leads onto who killed Navia's father's friend, business partner, gang leader associate. So we're gonna follow up on the. Basically, they're just 3 NPC face people, but they could all just be just as dangerously equipped to get in our way. So let's go. No fooling around. It's time to solve this mystery. I would like to get done with this today because it's like I feel like this. I've kind of just been like slogging through it. I feel like I've seen so many leaks of what the like quote unquote ending is supposed to be, so. But I don't see how we get there exactly. I don't see how we get to that connection. Well, 1 second.
Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Alright. Sorry for that rude interruption. It was my mom, so it wasn't rude, it was just like I was actually happy that she called. Alrighty folks, let's get back into it. It is settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure. I'll fill in the blanks since I rudely interrupted that with my phone call.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
Does it feel quiet? It feels quieter than yesterday.
Do you need anything from us?
Perhaps my volume's down. Hey, Del.
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the 2 of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rusula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
Oh!
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure.
I want my
to you.
father back.
And
I want my
to
daddy
all of
back.
us.
And you can't bring him back.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, My daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
Well, that's exactly what we believe,
Money
actually.
was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally.
So I've took to making an OnlyFans.
So when Mr. Callus came to him with a proposal,
I've took to making an OnlyFans to supplement our what we need for wealth.
he tried to be as careful as he could. But even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Hey everyone, we're doing a special this month on Corral's OnlyFans rates, 25% off new feet pics.
Never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us. I don't know that for sure.
Adele, you need to respect your new father, Jerome.
But he's not my
daddy. My daddy is Jacques. Well, Jerome is your dad now, okay?
Callus had always taken great care of
Get over
us
here, Adele.
when he was still alive and after he passed away. Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do
He literally
everything
created
he did?
drugs that corrupted people.
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man.
He created
Best in the
drugs
whole world.
that were
And you
bad
should
for.
hold
He
on to
basically
that.
he was basically
If
a
good
cocaine
man
manufacturer.
had to do a bad thing,
Is absinthe, but like
then
it
he
was
must have had his reasons.
that
Regardless
is
of whether
like
he left you a
the worst
parasol
equivalent I can think
or
of.
a sword.
I don't know how
He must have done
horribly
so
absinthe
to
can
give
get
you a
you.
better life.
Oh,
Probably pretty bad since it's
Thank you.
both
For everything you
hallucinogenic
I will
and
definitely find the truth.
and just
The
you
current
can just
state of
drink
things
it. Like
is
it's
not
not like a
something I'm willing to
smokable.
just
Like
sit
it
back
would
and
just be
accept.
easier just to drink it.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you.
So he created easy
Even though your
use drugs.
personality is quite different from your father's, your determination. and
Your daddy was a
spirit
drug
is
maker,
similar.
sweetheart. And you're gonna be a
really
drug
think so?
maker just like he was.
That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Testimony from Jacques' family. Jacques' family believes that he had struggled greatly with the order to kill Callus. Did Callus act in self-defense, or was there more to the incident? Okay, well, do we not have, like, this as reasonable proof of, like, trying to think what would retaliate, not retaliation, but self-defense? Did this come up in the court case? I doubt it. Fucking, you're coming with me. I'm taking your daughter. You're not right. You're not fit to be a mother.
are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the three
I'm fine.
suspects next. Florent should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll
Florent.
get myself together.
Florent.
So please don't worry.
It's a cool name. I like saying that. Has nice mouthfeel. Yes, I am Florent.
I'm sure you've heard
sweetie.
about what happened at the Opera House. Someone got
No,
killed
I did not
right
do
in front of
anything
us.
evil.
I've heard.
Oh,
Something
well, alright.
that dramatic? I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
He looks
It
and sounds
also
evil. I don't
reminded me,
trust him the most.
On the day that the incident happened with my father,
Though
it was
perhaps
raining outside.
that's just
and
a
we found
red
some clothes
herring.
left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me,
Partner,
I
I'm
feel
leading
like
this
we should
fucking
try to
investigation.
reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callus was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callus's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callus was standing
So you
over
did
his
have your
body
gun,
with
though.
a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation.
You did have a gun,
Reason
though.
being, Mr. Callus
Curious.
left his gun on the table.
Curious.
I even made sure
Tell
to
me, sir, have you ever
before
used a
running
gun
to the scene.
before?
But
Yes?
according to the
Guilty.
guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have
Guilty.
had other guns on his person.
Guilty.
About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third person there who was turned into water?
Now, how did you come to that conclusion?
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra
How did he
gun
come
with
to
him.
that conclusion?
The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a
Chaka.
third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys?
This motherfucker's taking us for a ride. I don't
Hold
believe
on.
him at all.
If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us?
And then
He
he's
didn't
leading us
even
away.
want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
Mm-hmm.
About
That's
that,
interesting.
Maloose told me a thing or two. So, I think I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented.
I wonder
Many
why,
people have
Florent.
laughed at me for still calling
Florent.
him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today.
Oh, so
No
you
matter
turned to
what others
profit.
might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth.
She's your boss now,
You
actually.
and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Florent, the advisor to Spina di Rosula. Oh, get out, babe. Get out. Florent, the advisor to Spina di Rosula, claimed that he was very grateful to Callus for his kindness. He was also present at the banquet on the day of the case and can provide evidence that Callus did not carry a gun with him when he went out. You had your gun, though. Go to Court of Fontaine and speak to Theory. There was a third person, though. He was here. There's no way he got all the way over there in the time. Unless it's like, oh, we found you, and you have vials of primordial ocean on you. How convenient. I don't want to say like all of them had motive, but oh, I guess that's why, because you're the good guard.
Hey, Thierry, it's me.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've got news of that already.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson.
That's
Callis
ominous.
did a fantastic job running the town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing many obstructions in my way. It would be next to impossible for me to find a similarly easy but high-paying job in the city.
Ominous.
Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Why does he sound so fucking
Yes.
sneaky?
These two are my partners. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Linny's case and my father's may be related. We're trying to reinvestigate the details of my father's old case.
Just openly say this to someone
I
who
get
you
it.
believe is a suspect.
You think there might be more to the case now that we know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your father's case, I can help you look for them.
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Actually, I have another question. Do you have the authority to dispatch Gardamex?
Of course. Without them, I couldn't possibly handle Poisson on my own. Why do you ask? We definitely can't use them to forcefully get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by a horde of unnumbered Gardamex in the city. So, if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, all you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to make an
Okay, did you
analogy,
do that?
when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage.
Not the same
If you
thing.
try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units. They're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation.
I mean,
I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Thierry is the person responsible for official contact between the Spina di Rosula and the guards. According to him, only the sufficiently rich can privately own large number of Gardamex. Why can't we assume that it's not just, like, both of them? Both him and Farrell. Why must we assume it's just one of them? And that they all just weren't in on it. Well, now that you've made your investigation so obvious to everyone, Navia, now they know that now they know that you're onto them. Now they know that you are investigating it. Now you've made yourself even more of a target for them to want to get rid of. Not only that, but you've like further exposed us into like investigators into this entire mishap. Not mishap, into this murder that occurred. Yeah.
Hello, how may I help you?
Calcagni.
I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure, I will let him know right away.
Why did we even need that?
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress.
Uncle
I
Marcel.
just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery? I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. Quite impressive.
So you're already known
beat
to be
the
there.
Hydro Archive
You're already
in her own
invited.
game on her own turf. I can already imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Why not? It's just like Mondstadt.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating
What?
now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense that the other side has already begun to act.
How would you have already gone to that
What
conclusion?
makes you say that?
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink water from the primordial sea.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit. Wasn't it you who protected us?
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
They could all just like collectively be trying to get rid of her so they three could control it, since they are all three very powerful figures within this organization.
The Confrérie was responsible for that.
Whereas she,
So I was out and about the whole time.
not entirely sure
things
what the
were
fuck
running
she's doing
smoothly.
this whole time. She's just
Didn't
like
even have
acting
the
as sort
time
of
to
like,
drink with the guests.
to my extended guess, like, she's got daddy's money and running around with it, being like a pseudo attorney for people within the court system of Fontaine. But is that really what Spina di Razula's main thing
Then I
is?
heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds good. Just let me know. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Got a lot of money, don't ya? Marcella is the leader of the Confrérie of Cabrières. I think that's how you say that. And was the organizer of the banquet years prior. Confrérie and the Spina di Razula have always maintained a close working relationship. Though his recollection of the events of the case is quite foggy. He's willing to defend Navia. I think it's all three. What a twist. We were looking for one, but we found three.
We've talked to all
What a
three
twist.
suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
All of them sounded particularly suspicious, actually.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right. Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused,
he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Oh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Huh. So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? My father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects.
Navia will remember that.
That's how he got to know Jacques.
He has the most funds.
From the Confrérie,
Yeah.
He could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Oh, sorry, was I wrong? Fuck off. Well, I can't imagine that Thierry could, because, like, he's a guard, so he's much more exposed to everyone seeing his doings.
Thierry, you say? Huh. It is possible that he figured out a way
Yeah,
to
that's
convert the
possible.
Gardamex report,
It's possible that he could have done
like
this.
He was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah, it's more believable that he could do it, even though he literally just said that it would be impossible.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory.
Anyone would be able to prove it with
If the mecha
that.
were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
I don't think it was Florent.
Florent? It is true that he was closest
You're
to
just
his father.
yanking my chain
He
here.
thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques.
No, I don't think it's him either, Traveler.
As Spina di Rosula's advisor,
Fuck
his
off,
work
Navia.
mostly
You
deals-
can't even decide on what you want to do.
Exactly. He can't. Who could it be?
I think it's Marcel.
You know, if you think everything through, Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
They're all
Could we
suspicious.
be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these 3, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he laid out his case for the 3, the rationale he gave me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now.
But oh well.
We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
How'd you find us, Thierry?
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him. Maybe even a little too well.
We fucked.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had anything to do with him.
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support any of our planned investigations.
Right, because they'll think they've already found the culprit.
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand.
We have to go save him.
Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open. You're right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
Where's this up to?
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Lenny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany you.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver, when did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Irenaeus. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then!
Suspect analysis. Combining the information regarding the Gardamex and the investigation results so far, it can be concluded that the only one person who can have a large number of Gardamex in his possession and run the scent business without leaving traces. This person is none other than Marcel. I mean, that's just like... We don't have motive, though. We don't have motive, and we don't have any evidence.
Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to my... Let's go and try to find the entrance.
Not like a fan of the underwater stuff yet. I haven't really gotten too much into it. I'm glad that the game is like having us do it though, because we haven't really, for a place that is like surrounded by ocean. I'm kind of surprised that the story has not allowed us too much to do in it yet. Am I supposed to see something or what?
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary. Ah, you're right. Navia's probably...
Am I like being killed by that crab? Are we not there with him? Why did we not go to help Child?
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear their name. Is that right?
Why was he charged in the first place? That doesn't make any sense.
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a
How?
major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again.
Please.
The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default. Correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway. So I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't
Why?
mean the suspicions
What?
against you have been lifted.
So go have a seat in the audience?
Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
You have no proof! You have literally no proof. And you're gonna throw your uncle under the bus just for this? I hate Navia. I do not love Navia at all. Marcel!
The head of Confrérie of Cabriere!
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone
Yeah.
is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes.
No.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
If I have to assume none of them are the right answer, and like we'll find it out next patch or something, but and so like regardless of what you picked, I assume that they're all either going to fail or they're all involved in it in some way or another. Because we genuinely have no proof for any of this.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see.
Curious, though.
In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
Marcel said that he didn't remember much of the case, but or of what happened at that event, but then he brought up, like, oh no, remember? I wasn't even... Remember? Of course.
On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel.
I also, honestly, I think that perhaps too, I mean, look at the eye patch, you know? Look at that eye patch. That's quite a suspicious eye patch. I think that maybe Callus did just do it. Maybe that's why Nouvelet was so sad on the case, because he knows, like, the literal truth of what happened. And that it's so, like, unrecoverable and unapproachable to confront Navia about this, because it's like, Navia, your dad did literally kill him. And he knew that he could not defend himself because, well, not only did he not have any witnesses to the event, but he genuinely had no evidence to claim that he was innocent. He knew that he wasn't, so instead he opted for the duel.
Callus was defeated by champion Julius
Also, his name is Callus,
in the
so...
ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him. After that, the true culprit turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Although if it was owned by the Confrérie, like, I guess he would have easier... I mean, that's not really an argument, I suppose. For 2 gunshots in the courtyard, according to Callus, who had motive to kill, murdered, but is that really true? I'm not very good at this, so I'm just gonna, like...
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the bank. However, in the end, he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection.
The guests arrived at the scene. They found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. Based on the investigations done then, there's no possibility that anyone else could have done the deed and escaped, and Callus was thus adjudged to have been the culprit. After conducting a reinvestigation, it's now certain that Callus did not bring the gun with him. Moreover, details of the case point towards the possible existence of a third person. Laurent had a gun.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself.
So how do you...
It is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
To be fair, the only... I'm just failing to see... The only evidence that I can see as to why Marcel would be, like, guilty is the after... is after the fact. Since we were being, like, hunted down by Gardamex, with which he would be the only one who would have the funds to access. Otherwise, I'm struggling to see how this story connects him to the murder. If all this, I would assume Florent would be the one who would be guilty, because he was the only other one with a gun. However, because the mansion was being hosted by the Confrere, I would assume it'd be easier for all this to be done by Marcel. So that's how I can see them doing it, because it's like it's his home, it's his mansion, and why would they suspect him of anything then? Is it?
So that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Exactly.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
No.
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home.
Fair.
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time.
To be fair, though she doesn't have evidence, she's at least provided enough of a story for reasonable doubt to say, like, why would Tartaglia be involved in this at all? I still don't understand why he's even here, or why he would be charged.
We should be able to find him out.
They haven't said that.
Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, Then why didn't Mr. Callis explain himself in court?
Yeah.
If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
Well,
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What?
If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retained the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean to say, your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callis was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles.
Thick woman.
And taken a countless number of dishonored
Why does
lives.
she look so thick? Like, did they like
In my
intentionally
work,
make her thicker?
I've seen
I don't
kinds
think
of
they
people
had.
give their all for the faintest hope to continue living.
God forbid MiHoYo make a new
Some
model
were
of them.
determined, others passionate, and some even manic and twisted. Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die. I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callis never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony, I have no more questions. It appears there really are good grounds to reopen this case.
But could that not also just be that he wanted to die out of guilt?
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callis. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous.
Yeah.
I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
That was quite an insult.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Idiot.
Well, don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain. In addition, I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began.
So you're not from Fontaine?
In Fontaine.
Which would allow you to easily have access to.
This was my mistake.
Fuck you, Malus. Now you're more. Now I suspect you more.
It's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time.
You'd have easier access to the
Could those
primordial
records and
water, though, because it wouldn't
do
affect you.
something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy.
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now? He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
Ooh.
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Interesting. I didn't suspect him until that. Why would he have any... I don't know. I don't know. I completely forgot about Vacher. We're good.
Gliding be faster.
I will have order.
Whoa! The floor is going up! Is it because of this mechanism in the middle? That guy really prepared a
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I hope that like when we get like a new house for the teapot, we have like a sort of aquarium like this. That would be so sweet.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but
You know what? We never really got.
take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
Sure, I can't just fly.
Crumble.
Yahoo!
No.
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Solidify.
Shine down! Everyone hold hands! The Temple of Wisdom! Let's play! Yeah!
This is order.
Illusion shattered!
I see everything.
It's interesting that you can apparently come straight here through Mondstadt, considering like the Numa and Oasis reactions that you might need to do. Because I guess it's easy for me, because I heard it was supposed to be super hard if you don't have those, but it's fine for me, but I'm also a whale, so...
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Whoa.
Shine down! Everyone hold hands! Sharing my knowledge! Think you can get away? Brace yourselves!
Order guide you. Stabilize.
It's a bit run down for a place that manufactures synth.
Finally made it to the innermost sanctum.
Is this what synth is made out of?
The mastermind isn't here. That's right. Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back.
Excuse me.
What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all these cute things labeled with different girls' names? Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water. And all the boxes of things. These names. That means... Oh, this is terrible.
What is that? It kind of looks like the rot from Sumeru.
Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him. Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch Navia. Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. Oh, they're all just so evil. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of place for research.
Kinda shoddy.
Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Female specimens 22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Aww.
Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How could someone write something that terrible?
It's quite dark for Genshin.
You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's why he did all of these experiments. But did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. Ah, you mean Vache is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it! Vache was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either! If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Sort of like he wanted to break them down and reconstruct them as his lover. Huh.
primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious.
Alright. Now what's this? What's this? Yeah.
Oh, look! There's an important looking basin over here, and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth. And that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth. But the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
It's like an oil tap almost, I suppose.
Everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Nervalet wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing.
Oh look, we found a picture with the name Facher like written on it. Whoa, it's black. Is it Abyss? That's curious. I don't think I've ever seen anything black before. Huh. Well, what else is there to look at?
You take that side, and Paimon will take this side. Ugh. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either.
Oh, how lucky.
Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Vinier. Isn't that Vache's lover's name? Then you found her diary. Aw. It's just a normal diary chronicling their love story.
Well, I can't
So
read that.
many. A whole page is the final name, Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vache and Vinier's grown son?
He's been trying to resurrect his mother?
Hey! Paimon still hasn't figured it out yet.
I don't think that's evidence.
And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Contempt.
As expected of my partner. I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
It's all right, Monsieur Nervalette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything. After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever.
In that respect,
you have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Venier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved, no matter what I do.
Oh.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Can't dissolve. Do you all see? I can't go. I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Venier.
Oh, I feel sad for him.
Promise. Venier. Please, Vignere, don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignere. During an underwater expedition, Vignere accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignere back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet.
Interesting.
Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene.
I wonder how picking the other ones would have resulted. That's interesting.
And just recently,
or if it would have just been like,
as the culprit of the
nah, you don't really have a choice. It's just they would have just picked one or the other.
However, his attempt to frame Linny failed.
Linny.
The power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all.
Huh. Interesting. I feel bad for Vacher.
Now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
Because yeah, no one believed him, no one cared.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Oh.
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. It's finally over.
But she just lost Uncle Marcel, though.
It's all thanks
Did try to
you
kill her, though.
and my partner. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Ugh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
True. Why would they need to do
Please
this?
respect the laws of Fontaine.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
He was charged for serial disappearances, but they literally just proved that he wasn't guilty for it. They just proved that
Through
Fauché
evidence
was.
presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
Uh-oh.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
What?
Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No
Yeah.
matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
I would be pissed too. What? There you go, you get your fight, child.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
My boy! My boy! Childs can win. My. He's going full ham.
He's activating his spell legacy!
Oh, whoa.
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Ooh, with just a slight cut on his cheek. How very anime.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette, what's going on? Shouldn't they have been cleared already?
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not?
Oh.
Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me you thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement. And, of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment. If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable. All shall be revealed in time. You will come to understand my noble intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice.
She has no idea what's going on.
Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff. So he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
What?
Oh, Monsieur Nervalette! That power you showed when you took him down.
Oh.
Who are you really?
I'm the Chief Justice of Fontaine, of course. If officers of the law lack the strength and capability to enforce it, then it makes a mockery of justice.
Quake!
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs. Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor.
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Thank you.
Well, I'll save my thoughts for after, but I am liking how this is wrapping up.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case...
Vache.
Ah!
Yes, that's it. So you heard it too.
Vinier, it's me! It's me, Vache!
Vache? Vache?
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vinier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Vinier, is that you? It's me, Vache! Vinier!
Vache? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember.
Rude.
How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vinier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vache, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
Wait, you are not Vinier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vinier.
Oh.
I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand. As our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea. And we were no longer individuals. But we became one. Just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vinier.
Why? But then, where is Vinier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vigniere's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vigniere's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Yeah, she can't hate me. Let me see her, please.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vigniere. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Oh. Whoa. Am I bad for feeling sympathetic towards him? Oh, and Nuvalet's crying about it.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Yeah.
Oh, well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Sen. Everyone from Spina di Rosula organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court, all attended.
That's good.
Definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago. Oh,
because I still don't understand why he didn't,
just after I left the memorial service.
like, why he chose to just do a trial instead of
Maybe
otherwise.
it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too? The Charlotte? Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that.
I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clorand out for a meal.
Interesting.
Are you two on better terms now?
Still kids with
We
dad.
were investigating Vache's headquarters. Clorand gave testimony on my father's behalf. It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide.
That's fair.
I wanted to thank her. I mean, there's also no point in
Can't
being
really
awkward
blame
all
an
the
executioner.
time. So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Oh, that's
Lesbians! Getting some lesbian love in there.
It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness. Oh, actually,
I'm in
there's
lesbians
one
with you,
last thing I need to do.
Clorand.
What is it?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth, and on top of that, just how much people still look up to him to this day. That includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too. We also think Callus is a really admirable person.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now.
Aww. Poor Nouvelet, he must be like just genuinely torn up about a lot of things.
This is where my father's grave is. To be perfectly honest, even I haven't been back here for a long time.
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait. That figure. It can't be. Isn't that Nicolette? Why
Aww.
would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown. But still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Well, ever since that day, I've been turning a question over and over in my head. Just what is justice anyway? There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more important to humans than life itself. Oh, rather than that, it's probably more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important, which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callus proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved to this day. Mr. Callus made the choice he did for his daughter, for his associates, and for many people completely unrelated to him. And in the end, from a certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days. That high and mighty chair in the opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just say you don't need to apologize?
Ah, so Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done.
Oh, it's not raining anymore.
Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there? Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad. Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Farina, we can at least talk to him, right?
I like Neuvillette.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see, I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this since you're usually super busy. So we figured we could try to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
Let's get this out of the way.
Sibling, another blonde-haired traveler. I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epiclese. Is there anything else?
I mean, we certainly did pretty quickly, so I don't. That's kind of whatever.
So, at court, the bad guys referred to that special water as water from the primordial sea. But what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vacher and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vacher discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
You've essentially not told us anything
that
yet.
The sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right! It was Lenny that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro
Two parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Teyvat for this purpose. If the rumors were true, then perhaps this prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina by her predecessor.
But with Farina being the way she is, can we really trust her to solve it?
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Oh, you didn't want to touch on that, did you?
My apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion. However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness. Which is all to say, I have been prepared for a situation like this for a long time.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Farina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though. Their time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede. If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about? Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right. You've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Interesting. Is Navia still over here? No. Alright, thoughts on the story. I thought it was... I was not happy with how Liney's trial concluded. I had a completely different expectation for that. But how it sort of...
tastes the same as I
Shut up. But as Liney's... As it wrapped up into this whole quest of primordial sea and everything like that, I definitely assumed that the story was going more towards okay, let's investigate the Oratrice because it seems corrupt. Now that seems like what we're doing. But before that, we had to get into this whole thing. It kind of seemed like a it kind of seemed like a sidetrack. It kind of seemed like filler to get into more of the Oratrice that we're doing now. So literally what they could have done was just prove that the Oratrice was faulty then. All of this in the middle, the primordial sea stuff, turning people into water, blah blah blah. That kind of feels like filler to lead into now getting into the corruption of the Oratrice, which is fine. That's totally fine because I did like the story. I thought that the story was really like engaging, and it had a really nice wrap up. What was so good about it too was that, you know, to make a good villain is that you need to make them very relatable. You need to empathize with them in some way, and obviously, of course, Vache's motives were evil, and his actions were evil as well. But and obviously, I'm not trying to justify serial killing, but like all of it was made with intention of bringing back his love, clearly. And yeah, I found that part particularly like endearing of his motives. Again, not condoning murder, not condoning serial killing. I do not find that part endearing. His drive to get there, I do find endearing, and I didn't expect it. I did not expect that twist to occur. Again, I thought more of the situation than what it was. That's kind of what I do with mysteries. I overthink a lot of it, and it ends up being much more in your face than what it is otherwise. Like a lot of things, I overthink things. So I like this in between because we got a lot more of the characters. Because at first I really didn't like Navia. Now I'm more in the middle, but you know, she's definitely grown on me as a character. Honestly, if she has a great kit, yeah, maybe I'll roll for her. But yeah, no, especially Nouvelle. His character was not at all what I thought it was going to be, and I'm so impressed with what they did with his character. Him, I don't know. I always go into new patches, into new cities, and everything with the expectation of, okay, I'm gonna roll for the Archon, and I'm gonna roll for the Fatui member. But like, I'm also always swayed by such great writing of characters and such great compelling characters. And it's like, ugh, and their hotness and their VA, but but I'm just super impressed with him in particular. I really like him. So I'm not very impressed with Focalors. So perhaps I will just like get Focalor later, unless her kit is just awesome. But even in that sense too, I haven't really been impressed with her character too much. Unless that turns a tail next chapter. But again, I have not seen anything to be impressed by her yet. If anything, I'll just consider him the Archon for this. He is supposedly the dragon. He is supposedly a dragon, a reincarnation of a dragon, or whatever. So he's still important to the story, to the lore, and essentially a collector's item. You know, I like having the Archons. I like having the Fatui members because I think that they're the most well developed characters in regard to their kit and story and all that. And I assume that they're going to do the same for the dragons. I assume they're going to do the same thing for the witches. I assume, yeah, I think that those are our sets right now. We have Archons, we have Fatui members. I think maybe they're going to add witches. I think they're going to add dragons, so on and so forth. If we get other sort of groups and cliques of characters. So yeah, I'll await what leaks we get of Focalors' kit, but for now I'm pretty much sold on Nouvelle, and let's see how many wishes I have right now. Just the one. Yeah, I'm at 186, so I'm at least guaranteed one. Okay. Hopefully now I can take on there. Yeah, nice. Hey, another wish. Oh! Nice. Alright, great. Now, where is Fontaine's, like, reputation system? Oh, it's right there. I haven't done my hunts yet this week, so we can do that. What's this? Oh, Hotel de Port, so... We'll do a bit more of discovery in a bit. Let's go... Come on, baby. Oh, we froze. Come on. So, in all, while this is thinking, in all this regard, I really, like... I think I really enjoyed the story. I love a good mystery. So yeah, I think that was really good. I think that was really, really well done. Oh, that's cool. It's from the Steambird. Oh man, I haven't achieved enough? Man! Let's look at the rewards we can get. Oh, that's pretty. It's kind of ugly. I don't really care for a lot of Fontaine's architecture. Wind-powered wind generator. A wind generating device developed by Raffet, senior researcher of Fontaine Research Institute of Kinetic Energy Engineering. After being activated, this device can provide a strong lifting force for the wind glider user. However, due to the design limitation, the design requires utilizing significant wind power to activate. The wind energy required is approximately equal to that produced by the working wind glider. Oh, so it sounds like it just gives you like a push forward, kind of like in Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild, but whatever the fucking new one is, where it just pushes you forward. That's kind of cool. I like that. Card back. Chicken. More buildings. I like the buildings. I'm not really a steampunk fan, so it's kind of cool. Hi. Oh, so that's that. And then we get the wings. Two-toned, like the eyes. Hydro treasure, okay. Alright, well fuck, I guess we have to do some missions there. Well shoot, I was kinda hoping that we would have gotten that. I do know that there's someone who's given recipes out around here. But yeah, no, I'm now that we've gotten to like the very end of it, I know I was kind of griping and bitching in the middle of everything, but I'm very impressed with the ending. I think it was really good and really well done. It wrapped itself up very nicely. Sanguinetti. There's some recipes. Lasagna. Let's see if we, Fanta. That's, clever. I wonder if they're, like, literally referencing Fanta. Is Fanta French? I guess. I don't know. I never really thought of it. Fanta, Fanta, don't you want to? What do you even do here? I wanted to see you. Alright, well let's I suppose I can make food there. Let's go back to there's another food place. And it's just across the street. Why don't we see if they have more recipes? I like doing the recipes, so let's see about that. I like doing the recipes and getting new food and being able to make them. So let's see if we can get even more from over there. There it is. Why are the doors see-through? Alright. Yeah, more recipes. Give me 100 coffee beans. Why not? Okay, great. Do you have a cook place where I can make something? Yeah, just right here in front of everyone. Great. I won't do this on stream, but I just kind of want to see. Those look good. Those don't. But yeah. Why don't we see if we can make anything new in our Serenity bot? I'd like to see. But yeah, it was a good wrap up and everything. Now I'm just sort of like shooting the shit and seeing what we can do in our teapot, see if anything's new. I'm hoping that we get a Fontaine version of a teapot. Wishful thinking.
This realm.
Anything new here? It said new in the blueprints, but I've bought everything. Yeah, and if there were new, it'd be at the end. Yep, nothing here. There's some new plants and seeds to get, I suppose, but I don't need that.
If you ever...
Interesting, interesting. Well, alrighty. I think I'm gonna end it there. Thanks everyone for following the story of Fontaine with me. I'll probably continue to upload my further adventures in Fontaine, but until then, thanks for coming with me into Genshin and making an impact. Have a good night. Bye-bye.